Hey guys, welcome back. So, first off, I want to tell you the way I see why you attract narcissistic people. And attracting narcissistic people is it's not a prop it's not a proper description, if you ask me, because they bounce around everywhere. I mean, like, it's not like you personally attract them, they try everyone. But the problem is that you need to have your boundaries set, right? You need to have healthy boundaries, and you need to, well, for a lack of a better way to say it, you need to repel them, right? And if you have an experience of growing up around narcissistic people and people that actually gaslight you and things like that, you have a tendency, probably, to not have those boundaries because you have been taught not to have them. You have been shaped over time to not express any concern towards toxic behavior. You have been shaped to be okay with things that really are not okay, you know? And one of the things that they work on you is that they try to have you second guess your intuition. They try to have you second guess your gut feeling, right? And what I did to get around that, or at least one of the things I did to get around that, was that I started to apply the age-old saying that you should watch people's actions instead of listening to what they're saying, because actions show you who a person really is. And they don't have to have malicious intent, or they don't have to be aware of it themselves for it to be toxic to you, right? So, in order to actually get around that part, I spent close to half a year not having real discussions with people, or at least not interacting with them in a toxic way, and just well, I was looking at their behavior to actually confirm that my intuition is spot on. I know long before they even try their BS what they're up to. And well, I mean, if you're gonna be thankful about an outcome of this, it is that your intuition gets sharper, and you see people for who they really are, and you don't have to go through all of the BS over and over and over, because with certain behavior comes a certain outcome. It's as simple as that. So I would recommend that you actually start looking at people's actions, because some people have a silver tongue. They talk like honey, right? And a lot of people fall for it. They do. And a lot of people should be watching actions more than listening to words. But since communication is mostly done through words. You need to find a balance, I guess. Don't be afraid to double check if people actually know what they're talking about, and follow up on some things. You know, speak up if there's something bothering you and it doesn't quite sit right with you. You need to actually express it. And once you express something, most toxic people find you difficult. So the bonus to being difficult is that you repel a toxic person, because they want to find an easy mark, not someone who actually, you know, confronts them straight up, right? And that has, well, led to some friction, of course. I mean, nothing comes without friction in life. But I highly recommend it, because when you repel those people, you make room for better people, right? You will find people who are okay with being questioned, or at least, you know, have a solid explanation to what they're up to, you know. Most of my life I've had a really, really good intuition, and it has helped me a lot of times. I think that getting back to trusting your intuition is really, really important, and people who stand to gain from you, or people who profit from you, they don't want you to know yourself. They don't want you to be stable in your intuition, because if you're stable in your intuition, if you trust your gut feeling, they can't run anything on you. You see their intentions right away. And that's one of the reasons why I think you should lean more into watching actions. And don't be afraid to follow up on the gut feeling you have, because once you start cutting people off from having shady behavior, you will get to a place where you feel better. It's as simple as that. And if you happen to cut off someone that actually could have been good for you, but has got a shady behavior or a toxic behavior that is going to bring you grief, I mean, there are plenty of people in the world. Why would you force yourself to go through toxic behavior when you don't have to, right? When you've been gaslighted for a long, long time, and you need to get back to the part where you actually tell people to shove it. And doing that doesn't come with finesse in the beginning, right? So I would advise you not to, not to put too much effort into making it too pretty. You will develop a better way of expressing it over time, but just start off by doing it. It doesn't really matter. It's gonna feel weird, it's gonna feel wrong, but what is good for your mental health and what is good for your development, I guess, has no price. Doesn't have a price. You cannot take it into consideration how that actually sounds, because a toxic person has already overstepped your boundaries. You don't have to treat them with respect anymore, okay? I know you might wanna, but it is okay to not do it. Because in a way, they did not respect you, right? And over time, you develop I might say, fear of losing people. You are used to, I guess, used to people having transactional feelings towards you, right? And I would advise that if you're gonna do this, you need to find a way of being okay with people coming and going in life. And honestly, I think that you're not meant to hold on to people in life. People have a freedom to come and go as they please, and so do you. They don't owe you anything, and that is actually a comfort, because that way you don't owe them anything, right? The only person in life you owe anything is yourself. And once you have children, them, of course, right? But that's a different topic. I've had friends in life where our relationship was based on them only reaching out when they needed support, when they needed someone to talk to, when they wanted a puking bag, to be honest. And I kind of reached a breaking point when one of them said that different people have different purposes, right? Which basically means that the only time he got back to me was when he needed a shoulder to lean on, right? And if you're gonna have a happy, fulfilling life, you cannot be a puking bag for other people, right? There are professionals for that. You can send them on their merry way to a professional, I think. That is much, much healthier for you. But of course, it takes communication on your behalf, right? You need to tell them that you're not okay with it, or you can cut them off. Because someone with that attitude is probably never going to change, or at least not within the time period that is healthy for you, right? And we're talking about your health here, not anyone else's. So do what is best for you. That's really important. And once I started to lean back on people like that, I wasn't the one actually trying to reach them, and I let them actually play themselves out of my life. And sometimes you just need to lean back, right? You need to see people's real intentions when it comes to you. You need to stop fixing things. Because if you always rush to fix things, which is a trauma response, to be very, very fast at trying to fix other people's problems, maybe even without them asking for it, it makes you open to manipulations, for one. I mean, a manipulative person can actually just display a situation where something is going to be a certain way unless they get help with it, right? And I stopped rushing to help people, which is in a way, well, it sounds worse than it actually is. Because let's see, let's take an example here. If you have a person that owns a house for, let's say, 3, 4, 5 million Swedish kroners, right? They can afford to buy the service from someone else. You don't have to help them. I mean, if you want to, and if you give it some good thought, it's all good. I mean, it's up to you. But some people actually walk around out there having people work for free, only to build their own wealth, only to build their own resources. And once you need help, they're nowhere to be seen, right? And speaking of that, I think it's really important to, I mean, break check is maybe not the right expression, but take a pause. Try to just ask people for help, right? Ask this person, this particular person that actually always wants you to help them, ask them for a simple favor. See what happens. That way you will find out if you're in a mutual relationship or if it's just a parasite. And there are plenty of those, at least here. I mean, I'm Swedish, so I'm not sure about all of the other countries, but I'm thinking it's more or less the same everywhere, because humans are humans, no matter where you are on the planet, right? And I mean, a really easy way of getting around it is ask for a favor. Just a small favor. It doesn't have to be that complicated. Just, can you help me pick this one up? Or can you maybe help me with this scaffolding or whatever? And can you hold this while I put it up? Like, it's simple things. It doesn't have to be that complicated. And if they cannot find any time to do it, right, it's not, mutual. All right. And I have someone really, really close to me that I noticed. Well, that person was trying to portray scenarios in order to get me to react to it and help out, right? And that's really manipulative, because normal communication is, can you help me with this, right? And someone who has actually built a behavior in you to go along with that kind of manipulative behavior doesn't want your best. They do not have your best in mind. I would say that is key behavior for narcissists, but I'm not a psychologist, right? I've only read about it. So, and if someone has given you this behavior, which is called hypervigilant behavior, where you almost look for signs to step in and help people and do things for them, it would be a good indicator that you need to have a look at your surroundings. Because not only is this behavior really unhealthy for you, it will land you with the wrong people, both in your private life, right, your relationships, but also in business, in work life. You are very likely to end up with a narcissist, and that is not gonna end well. And I'm not talking about the lovey-dovey kind of vain person looking in the mirror a little bit too much, being self-absorbed and whatnot. That's not a narcissist. I mean, people can develop those behaviors for a number of reasons, but a real narcissist is a really good way to mess up your life, right? So if you have the hypervigilance behavior, work on it, because it will lead to no good, okay? Now, leaning back, like I said before, and not rushing into things, and in a sense, letting the ship sink if it's supposed to sink, right? Because not every problem is yours to carry, right? And when you start doing that, you will, at least to my experience, get further and further away from the hypervigilant behavior. And just leaning back is a really good solution for a lot of problems, right? I mean, people actually need to start communicating with you. I mean, like normal people communicate, right? And the bonus is that you will develop healthier relationships. I think that is a wrap for today. It's getting cold, and it's really humid today, so I'm honestly freezing my nads off, right? So, later.